Cramer Hill neighborhood. It is such a pleasure to see everyone here today and to see so many smiling faces after over a year, a tough year we've all endured, but just not seeing anyone in person. Just to be able to be outside now, I can't tell you how this feels good. So thank you so much for joining us for this exciting, game-changing announcement for Abbotsville Village and Cramer Hill. Camden is witnessing an unparalleled economic growth. The city is working alongside its partners to leverage these investments by bringing additional opportunity to our neighborhoods. Opportunities in Cramer Hill, like the Kroc Center, new business and job places at the Place Action Plat, new schools like Mastery Cramer Hill Elementary, new parks like the breathtaking Cramer Hill waterfront that's going to be across the street, and now the overhaul of Abbotsville Village. These investments are all within the Cramer Hill neighborhood and within walking distance from this exact location. I can assure you, improving the quality of life in our neighborhoods is my priority as Camden Mayor. It's a priority for all of our Camden residents, and it's a priority of everyone here today. As our program begins, I would like to welcome all of our elected officials, dignitaries, and special guests, particularly U.S. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Marcia Fudge. Yes, indeed. U.S. Senator Bob Menendez. Our Congressman and friend, Donald Norcross. 5th District Senator Nilsa Cruz Perez. Our Assemblyman Bill Spearman. Our Assemblyman, the other Bill, Bill Moen. Camden County Commissioner, my guy Al Dyer, and the rest of the commissioner members that may be here. Our Camden City Council members, Marilyn Torres and Felicia Reyes Morton. She's here somewhere, I believe I saw her. Housing Authority Chair, Deborah Pearson Polk. Our Housing Authority Executive Director, Victor, I love that name, Figueroa. VP of the Michaels Organization, Nick Cangelosi. Our CCPD command staff and CCPD officers who are here and service Camden every day. Our also great superintendent of our Camden City Schools, Ms. Katrina McCombs. School Board President, Minister Wasim Muhammad. And everyone involved with Cramer Hill C&I partners who helped make this a reality today. I and we are honored to have our first speaker with us today. I've had a chance to meet this woman, and I tell you, her energy and spirit I just felt good. I told her earlier, I said, I felt like you grew up around our area. And I want to, talk a little bit about her. Over the course of her career, Secretary Marcia Fudge has worked to help low-income families, seniors, and communities across the country finding suitable, affordable housing. As mayor of Warrensville Heights, Ohio, she adopted one of the first vacant and abandoned property ordinances in the state. She worked with local officials to develop a task force to protect against predatory lending, and she secured the inclusion of property maintenance grants in the Warrensville Revitalization Action Plan. Additionally, she brought new residential development to the city and addressed the city's growing foreclosure crisis through the formation of a local partnership that help residents maintain the financial security needed to buy or keep a home. As a former mayor, Secretary Fudge has seen firsthand the need for economic development and affordable housing. As such, she prioritized improving the city's tax base and expanding affordable housing opportunities. Secretary Fudge believes our housing issues do not fit into one-size-fits-all approach. We need policies and programs that can adapt to meet a community's unique housing challenges. She is committed to making the dream of home ownership and the security of wealth creation that comes with it a reality for more Americans. We are absolutely thrilled to welcome Secretary Fudge to the city of Camden today.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very, very much. Senator Menendez, it's always a pleasure to be with you. My former colleague, Donald Norcross, and I have known each other for a few years, and it's always good to see you as well. I want to thank all of you for being out here today, because I'm going to tell you what, $35 million is a big deal. It's a big deal. $35 million changes lives, transforms neighborhoods. And what I learned a long time ago, good things happen to good people. Camden is a great community that deserves this $35 million. You know, people say that we invest in housing, but we invest in housing because we believe in investing in people. We know that people make housing, people make neighborhoods. And I just want you to know it is a new day at HUD because we understand that housing is more than four walls. Housing is the place where you raise your children, where you take care of your sick family members. It is a place where you thrive and you live and you rise. Housing is a foundation that every single person should have. No one should sleep on a street. No one should sleep under a bridge. Every person in this great nation should have a roof over their head. They should live in a place where they can thrive and feel good about going home. There's nothing better than home. As a poor kid, we didn't have a lot, but I always knew I could go home and I'd be safe. This $35 million is going to make this a safe community. Yeah, it's going to be good. You've already seen what a HUD Choice Neighborhood Grant can do. You're finishing one up now that we gave you some years ago, $13 million. Just think this is almost triple what you got the last time. So I just want to say to the people of Camden that I am so very proud to be here with you on this proud day, because the next time I come back, I'm going to see a community that none of you could probably even imagine. I am so, so very proud to be a part of this, because when you make people feel good, they do good. When you make communities safe, people feel good about being in them. So when I come back the next time, y'all get it right, because we're going to do this. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Secretary Fudge. Needless to say, we are beyond excited that HUD has decided to invest so much into Abbotsville and the surrounding neighborhoods of Cramer Hill. This is an enormous grant and will go a long way in supporting the vision of a stronger community that we have here and a stronger fabric here, including beautiful homes for our residents and a safer and friendlier streets. Our next speaker. I had a chance, now just a quick story, about a week ago when this was announced, as a mayor just stepping in, I get a call. So I said it's a DC call. So I didn't have the number saved. So I listened to the message and I say, wow, it's Senator Bob Menendez calling me. And I tell you, I said, wow, this is, when a mayor, I guess you get calls when things like this happen. I said, I was like excited, taken back on he just letting us know that we got this grant for our community. So I was excited to call him back and just thank you. And as all of you most know, Senator Bob Menendez has been a champion for New Jersey and a friend to Camden. He is widely known as being a fighter for working families and for refusing to accept status quo. Most recently, he helped pass the CARES Act and Family First Coronavirus Response Act, which, as we all know, provided much needed support for local hospitals, families, and small businesses over the past 15 months. Without further ado, Senator, thank you for joining us today. I'd love to have you up.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back in Camden, a great city. We're thrilled to be here with Secretary Fudge. What a difference having a Democratic president and a secretary who understands the nature of housing is. Instead of fighting HUD, we have a partner in HUD. Instead of having someone who used to think that somehow raising the rents of people in public housing and subsidized housing by over 150% was somehow going to liberate them, we have someone who understands the value of what housing means to our communities. So, Madam Secretary, we're thrilled. I'm thrilled to have supported your nomination. I am thrilled to have succeeded in voting for you, and I am thrilled that you are here today. Welcome to New Jersey. You can come as many times as you want, especially when you bring $35 million. And before I get to my remarks, we are a grateful people, and we make a lot of things in New Jersey. So I didn't want you to go back home other than just simply with our thanks. So we have a basket here of New Jersey goodies. Craisins cranberry sauce from Burlington, Flying Fish, a great brewery from Camden, Tazo tea from the Lipton Soup Company, M&M Mars, and saltwater taffy from Atlantic City. Thank you so much. Welcome to New Jersey. Campbell's, yes, Campbell's. We'll get a can or two of that before you leave. Congressman Norcross is going to take care of that. On a serious note, it's great to be back in Camden. I'm thrilled to be here with my colleague from the House of Representatives, Congressman Donald Norcross. You know, when we advocate for these grants, you need to have a good product, number one. We can't advocate for something that's not particularly well put together. But when we have a great product, and in Camden's case, a history of a track record of success that we can take federal money and transform lives, then the advocacy comes in. And you couldn't have a better advocate for you than Congressman Donald Norcross. Donald, thank you for what you do each and every day. We appreciate it. Mayor Carstensen, let me just say, it's nice to start off in office for just a few weeks with a $35 million grant, with millions coming from the federal government that Congressman Norcross and I voted for, that you'll put to good work for the city of Camden outside of this, and to get a secretary's visit right off the bat. So that's a pretty good start. So congratulations, Mayor. We look forward to great things, brighter future for Camden. Now, as a senior member of the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee, I have been fighting on HUD's budget for years so that we can help transform lives. As the Secretary said, home is something more than a physical place and brick and mortars. Home is where we're brought to when we are born. It's where we're nurtured. It's where we learn. It's where we spend good times and bad times. It's where we rejoice and celebrate birthdays. It's where we ultimately sometimes have sad moments to remember those who left us. And then at some point, we leave home and start a new home of our own, and the cycle begins all over. But the nature of great communities is when we can start off with a great home. So today is a major milestone in the city of Camden's continued renaissance. The city and the Camden Housing Authority have won another Choice Neighborhoods grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and winning is no small feat. This is a highly competitive national grant program. You have to compete across the entire country against other cities for it, and only the best of the best are awarded funding. You have to put forward your best vision for how you will transform a community for the better. You have to show that you have buy-in from local stakeholders and a plan to leverage private sector investment in support of your goals. That's why we're so thrilled to see all of the state, county, local, and private sector individuals come together today to make this vision a reality. And you have to provide the federal government with a comprehensive plan detailing how you'll address the needs of your residents with respect to, yes, affordable housing, but transit options, access to services, education, public recreation, and more. And the fact that Camden is now receiving its second Choice Neighborhoods grant in recent years is a testament to the city, its people, and its leadership. I remember how hard we worked. That's right, its people and its leadership. Congratulations to all of you. I remember how hard we worked with former Mayor Dana Red back in 2015 and 2016 to win that $13.2 million Choice Neighborhoods grant to help transform Branch Village and revitalize the Mount Ephraim neighborhood. And I was proud to advocate on behalf of Camden that time around as well successfully. And we're looking forward to the ceremony that soon we'll be having celebrating that reality. I'm a big believer in the Choice Neighborhoods program. Year after year, I've led the fight in the Senate to protect and expand funding for it, because I myself, as the secretary, as a former mayor, we know what a difference the infusion of federal dollars can make in a neighborhood. The Choice Neighborhoods program encourages our cities to think big, create holistic plans for addressing challenges like systemic poverty and distressed neighborhoods, and to attract private and public investment to spur new economic growth. This $35 million award we're announcing today will help Camden realize its plan to replace distressed housing in the Cramer Hill neighborhood and ultimately improve the quality of life for the residents of Abbotsville Village. And as I arrived today, I couldn't help but notice the strategic location of Abbotsville Village. We're standing right across the street from Mastery Cramer Hill Elementary School, the beautiful Cramer Hill Waterfront Park, and the Salvation Army Kroc Center, and two manufacturing facilities, Action Pack and Resin Tech, which employ more than 300 people, many who live right here in Abbotsville Village and Cramer Hill. I can't think of a better location to invest $35 million in federal HUD dollars for beautiful and affordable homes. It has all of the synergies to have a tremendous, successful future. Abbotsville Village is the oldest remaining public housing development in the entire city of Camden. More than 4 of its 10 residents still live below the poverty level. That has to change. These buildings are 80 years old, with major structural deficiencies you can't cover up with Band-Aids. The families, children, and seniors living here deserve safer, modern housing options and a greater access to economic opportunity. The Housing Authority's plan is visionary, includes building 350 new energy-efficient units, including 21 additional low-income apartments, improving pedestrian infrastructure and access to mass transit, providing recreational opportunities, including a new community center, playgrounds for children, walking trails, and even creating a garden for locally sourced produce. These are exactly the kind of investments that will attract more businesses to the area and connect the residents of Cramer Hill to greater job opportunities. As the Madam Secretary knows, as President Biden says, we have to build back, but we have to build back better. And that's what we are doing here today. We are building back better. I'm confident that Camden's vision, along with the commitment of public and private partnerships, is the right vision for this community. So let me again congratulate the city, the Camden Housing Authority on winning the Choice Neighborhoods Grant. I cannot wait to see the progress you make with the residents of Cramer Hill. We breathe new life into the neighborhood, a new vision, a new day dawning, and I look forward to coming back to see that dawn become a reality. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations.
Thank you, Senator. It's truly inspiring, and it's a real pleasure to have you here today. So thank you for being here. It's now time for our next honorable speaker, someone that we consider our friend. He's our congressman, also known as Camden's congressman, Congressman Donald Norcross. When he's not in Washington fighting for raising wages and providing accessible education for all, he's supporting the brave men and women defending our country and neighborhoods. Congressman Norcross can be often found right here in Camden, as he is proud Camden resident himself. Congressman, our friend, thank you for joining us today. Our pleasure to have you up here.
Good morning. How we doing? A late morning. We're starting a little bit later. First of all, to my former colleague of 6 years who used to sit right behind me on Labor and Ed, which tells you a lot about where her values are. Labor, a job, and education. Secretary, it's great to have you here. We feel that energy that comes from you. And to my senator, who in many ways considers Camden his home. He has done so much for this community and continues. Bob, we appreciate everything you can do. I just want to take a moment because I listened to Bob and the Secretary talk about all the issues that we know about. You know, Campbell's soup has been here since the beginning. We will get you a can of tomato soup. But recorded sound started right here, the heartbeat of what we use each and every day. We're so proud of that. And today is not about me, not about the senator or even the secretary. It's about the people who call this home. It's about home. It's where that heart is, where you go to bed each night, and you should have that security that we talk about. And that's what it's really about. We were talking just a few minutes ago inside when Commissioner Dyer started talking about he lived right over here. And that is where the home is. He understood. He literally got choked up. And we all know why. You're proud of where you came from. You are proud to be called Camden residents. And that is something that we all believe in each and every day. It's been a tough year, right? It's been a rough one. Pandemic, we got the vaccines. What a difference an administration makes. We got the vaccine to where it's needed. But to have a $35 million grant and a transformation, Bob talked about right up the street what's going on here, that 2 new manufacturers in a city just came here. But it didn't happen accidentally. It happened because of a community that came together with their elected officials, our assembly, our senator, certainly the mayor and council, the Board of Education. But it also came together because of a great partner in Michael's Development, the largest provider of affordable housing in this country, who moved in last year to call Camden home. Thank you, Nick, for what you and Michael's Development have done. And I just want to say to the mayor, been a pretty good few days here, and it didn't happen accidentally. It happened because the residents, the elected officials, and yes, our country can come together when they want to. And this is testament for why that happened. God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Congressman. It's great to hear your perspective on this outstanding news, especially as someone who's lived and breathed Camden for so much of his life. Thank you. The next speaker, it's a pleasure. It is an honor. He's a colleague. He's a good friend of mine. As our congressman mentioned, he's someone that's lived and breathed this community and this neighborhood. And I think that this says a lot for him to be able to come back in his capacity as our county commissioner, just to be able to talk about that and what this community meant to him and what this community is going to mean moving forward. So I want to introduce our Camden County Commissioner, Mr. Al Dyer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I get into what I have to say, I just think this is a great day for the city of Camden. And for the folks that are here, East Camden. We don't hear that. This is East Camden. And I'm an East Camden guy, and Vic and I both lived in Cramer Hill at one time. So I'm going to pivot into just how I got to where I'm at right now. I actually live about 3 roads down. My family and I, we moved from Newark, New Jersey, and we moved to East Camden, right around the corner from Woodrow Wilson High School. We had some struggles. Then we moved to a rented house in Cramer Hill. Lived there for a few. Things got a little worse, so we had to move here. And this is probably the best area and house that I lived in. However, it was the last time I lived with my immediate family here. Once we were displaced here, everybody my younger siblings went to foster care. I know one of the congressmen or somebody mentioned about sleeping in the park. I've slept in that park. These folks here really don't want for nothing. They just want assistance. So I've felt that. I've been through all that. There was a lot of people in Camden that helped me be here right today. So for this community to get $35 million to rebuild this development with the Michaels organization, that's huge to me. And so I'm choked up a bit because these folks know what I'm talking about, the folks that are here. And they know that living here, you do well with what you have, you don't ask for nothing, and you keep striving. But you'll take what you can get, and you just keep moving. So I don't dwell on anything that happened, because all that adversity has me right here speaking to these folks that say there's a chance. There's opportunity for everybody, and it starts with living in a great home. We struggle every day with the things that we do. Coming home into an environment where you can put your head down and feel comfortable helps you get to that next day. So this is great, Secretary. I'm proud that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. This community deserved it. I believe this was built in 1943, and I think it's 306 units. And like I said, I can proudly say I lived in one of those units, and I don't take anything back from living here. I loved it here. And this is still my home. I love this East Camden neighborhood, and I would do everything I can as a commissioner to make sure that they get all the resources they can get. So thank you for coming. Thanks everybody for coming. And I truly appreciate y'all taking time out to hear my story. But thank you, and everybody have a good day. God bless.
Thank you, Al. That meant a lot to us to hear your story, brothers. Thank you. I'd like to now introduce the chairwoman of the Housing Authority of the City of Camden, Ms. Chairwoman Deborah Person Polk, someone that I've known since I was a kid, and I've watched her give back to our community and service our community in many ways. And you know, when we're growing up, those are the shoulders that we get on top of as kids coming up in our community. So her vision and leadership has inspired her team at the Housing Authority. Many partners entered the long and often challenging Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant process, but as we like to say in this region, she trusts the process. Thank you for joining us today. Chairwoman Person Polk, please come up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was going to cry even before Al gave his story. I worked with him as well, so I never knew. And it like breaks your heart. But like you said, God prepares us for things at such a time as this, right? There is no mistake that each person here is in the position that they are in. I liken it to a perfect storm, the movie The Perfect Storm, but not the storm itself. but where all the elements of everything and everyone that needs to be in place is in place, right? The secretary, I'm not going to name names, because what I am going to say, because I don't want to talk long, because I get emotional, but what I can say is this is Ablett Village, and it took a village. It took a village. We were just out here the other day, and some of the residents were talking, and they're like, well, when can you do this? When can you do that? You can't fix it. We needed HUD. We needed the sensitivity of the president and his secretary and his staff to understand that we needed it. I don't want to leave Michael's development out, because they are a dynamic partner. A lot of times people may say negative things because they, you know, like, you don't know the whole story, but they're here with us. They support us. I have to give kudos to my ED, right? Victor, because I can be a pain. You know, I'm retired, and I used to handle all the federal and state funding for the Board of Ed and for the city, so like you can't walk past me with anything. You know, everything has to be lined up properly. I also have to give thanks to my commissioners. Noemi is over there. I see Cameron. And if there's anybody else here that I can't see, blame it on the head, not the heart. But this is a day for the residents. And it truly is. Because when you don't have anything, right? People look at you differently than they look at you when you do. It doesn't mean that they're less intelligent. It doesn't mean that they don't care about where they live. They just don't have the means all the time. That's our job. That's why I retired 6 years ago. They don't pay us, but I feel that we have to give something back. So my heart is very, I mean, this is the happiest that I've been since we got Branch Village. You know, every time we do this, people talk about Camden. Our portfolio, with the assistance of everyone here, is awesome. Abbott Village is the last one. What I would like for Secretary Fudge to maybe take back and ponder when they're doing all their legislative changes for programs and everything, I really want those senior towers done. I can retire when them towers are done and our seniors are taken care of. We're using capital improvement now to just do some improvements, because, you know, Victor and Chuck, you know, they are awesome, right? That doesn't mean that all the staff isn't, so if I didn't say your name, don't get mad. But that's what we need. And I promise you, if you had the opportunity to ride through and see all of our developments, the people are taking care of them. Because you always hear when you try to craft these budgets and do things for, you know, people that are not as fortunate as you are, right? They're not going to take care of it. Or even some of my relatives, oh, why are you? And, you know, they're not going to do. The places are beautiful. We are thankful. And Senator Menendez, you've been there. I've been on this board since 2005. And I worked for the Board of Education, going after money. There was not one time that we contacted your office that you did not help us. Right? And the same way with our congressman. So I'm just going to sit down. Remember, it's a village. And Tracy, I love you. She's been through it all with us. And I just thank everyone. And then I'm really going to sit down. I got to shout out my new mayor. because he's awesome. And like I said, at such a time as this, God puts the right people in place, right? So all of you that don't think so, you need to come on board, because you know the train will leave the station. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Ms. Polk. We all appreciate you and what you've done for our community and the Housing Authority. Next, we have, as you mentioned, our great Executive Director of the Housing Authority, Victor Figueroa. You know, Victor is on the front lines of what's been going on with this Housing Authority, and I'm so proud to say, you know, he's just played a pivotal role in galvanizing the team and partners in the Cramer Hill community. And we've shared a common goal, a more equitable future, and Victor, you are at the forefront of that. So thank you, and want you to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I just want to mention that I had recent jaw surgery, so bear with me if I get a little tongue-tied. But first and foremost, I would like to thank God for bestowing on us this great blessing that will allow us to reconstruct Abbotsville Village. There are a lot of folks here today to thank, so in the interest of time, I thank you all for being here today, but I would like to take the opportunity to thank those who assisted me in writing the successful grant application, beginning with the residents of Abbotsville Village, including the resident board represented here today by Tracy Powell, who serves as its president, as well as the residents of Cramer Hill, led by Mary Cortez and Mike Hagan. Thank you for your cooperation and patience in this endeavor, as it was certainly invaluable. I want to thank my Board of Commissioners, led by Deborah Person-Polk, who serves as its chairwoman, and Naomi Soria Perez, who serves as its vice chairwoman, as well as Commissioner Hudson. Thank you all for your leadership, support, and guidance. And I also want to thank all of my staff for their efforts, including Chuck Valentine, Edith Pagan, Alex Song, Rosie Feliciano Brown, Naya Soto, Sherry Holt, and Reba Hicks, as you all know, who has recently retired. I'm going to miss her. But they worked diligently, putting in some long hours in getting this application together. I want to thank Claudia Beltran and her team at Kitchen & Associates, who assisted us with the transformation plan, and John Walshak, who was instrumental, him and his team at Edgemere and Associates, who assisted us in writing this actual application to HUD. I cannot forget to thank our primary partners. I'm sorry, I know I have limited time, but I have to thank our partners. The Michaels organization, led by its CEO, John O'Donnell, and Nick Cangelosi. You know that you are very much appreciated. Better Tomorrow's Patricia Schwartz and Laurie Ward. The Camden Redevelopment Agency, led by Councilwoman Marilyn Torres, who also serves as its chairwoman. Thank you. And Acting Executive Director Olivette Simpson. Cooper's Ferry, Chris Calari, and Mishka Mitchell. St. Joseph's Carpenter Society, Pilar Hogan and Enrique Rivera. Rutgers University, Naima Watson, and Camden City School District, Katrina McCombs. You all provided very valuable services and resources. Thank you. And I would be remiss if I did not thank former mayors Red and Moran for their assistance and support in this grant application. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank you, Madam Secretary, your team, the CNI team, Lucy Blackburn and Pamela Lawrence, and HUD for considering our application and giving us this award to make a difference in the Cramer Hill neighborhood, especially here at Abbotsville Village. At this point, I would like to leave you with this thought. Mayor Kastarfin, I was listening to you the other day where you had indicated that, yes, you know that it may be a cliche, but there is no I in team, and we are certainly a team. But then you followed up your statement with this: all that we do not for me, nor for city council members, nor elected officials, nor the housing authority, et cetera, but everything we do needs to be done for the residents of this city. And Mayor, today, I would like to echo your sentiments and state that we do for the residents of Cramer Hill and Abbott Village. AV, we did it. We got those $35 million, and we will be providing you with new, safe, and beautiful homes. Thank you again, and God bless you.
Thank you, Victor, and thank you and your team for all that you do and the hard work in making all of this happen. I'd like to introduce someone next. We talked about the Michaels organization, who is an incredible corporate partner with a strong sense of community responsibility. The Michaels organization has developed many of the beautiful new affordable housing sites you see in Camden. They also are responsible for developing the new Abbotsville Village. They will be responsible for that. Nick Cangelosi is an outstanding young man and the Vice President of Development for the Michaels organization. I've gotten a chance to know Nick, and one thing I love about Nick is he just doesn't talk the talk in our community. I see him walk the walk in our community, and that's important to be a partner. We're talking about not just building infrastructures, but being a part of our community. And I appreciate you for that. You keep moving forward in that regards, because you got great support. We appreciate your support. So Nick Cangelosi, come on down.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate those kind words. So this morning, I was reminiscing about many of the amazing moments and accomplishments that this team was able to achieve over the past couple years to get to this point. And I started thinking about the bright future. And I came across a Vietnamese proverb that stated, "When eating fruit, remember those who planted the tree." Today, we give grace and we celebrate all the remarkable residents of Abbott Village, the neighbors of Cramer Hill, and the amazing stakeholders here today that are planting the seed for the tree that will provide figurative fruit to provide game-changing and life-changing nourishment to so many residents and families for decades to come. By providing over 450 new homes, improvements for businesses, schools, parks, residents, homeowners, the future is bright. This is a true testament of the power of teamwork. I'd like to thank Senator Menendez and Congressman Norcross for all your support, legislation, everything you've done for affordable housing, and certainly your support of the federal low-income housing tax credit that is figuratively and literally helping Camden rise. Madam Secretary, the future of affordable housing at a time where we need it the most could not be brighter with you in the lead. Your ambitious and thoughtful and pragmatic plans around housing is just unprecedented, and we can't thank you enough, and we're so passionate about and excited about the future of your leadership. Victor Figueroa and Chuck Valentine, our partners at the Housing Authority, we can't thank you all enough. You're just an amazing, amazing partner. Commissioner Dyer, everything you do at the county, can't thank you enough. I want to give a shout out to Melanie Walters and Tanya at the Housing Authority. The New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency has committed over $65 million already for this effort. And it's just the beginning. So thank you, Executive Director Walter. I want to thank Tracy Powell. She is just an amazing mother. She's an awesome resident leader. She's a phenomenal, smart, and hardworking and passionate person, and a dear friend. Tracy, can't thank you enough. And in closing, I want to leave you with something, a quote from Nelson Mandela, and he says, "Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. But vision and action can change the world." And the vision we have with a HUD-approved transformation plan and the action from Secretary Fudge and Senator Menendez, plus the $35 million award, is going to change Abbott Village, it's going to change Cramer Hill, and it's going to help keep Camden rising. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick, for all you do. That was very passionate. Much appreciated. Thank you for all your support. What better way to conclude this by bringing up someone that you mentioned? Someone that I've gotten a chance to know over the past few years. Someone, when you're talking about passion, you're talking about caring, for her residents. Someone, when I said walk the walk, what I've known about you, you walk the walk, you care about your community, and you step up and you fight for what's right. And that's something that we all should follow, and we all like to follow your lead, Tracy. So without further ado, Tracy would love you to come up. Our president of Abbotsville Residents Council, Tracy Powell. Let's give her a round of applause.
I'm a crybaby. I'm gonna let you all know that. But and I done fought it back all this time. But thank you, everyone. Hi, my name. Oh, I am not a public speaker, so I'm gonna read. Hi, my name's Tracy Powell, the proud president of the Abbotsville Resident Council. There are so many individuals that I would personally like to thank. From the Housing Authority of the City of Camden, Michael's Redevelopment, our partners, everyone that helped us that hold a political office, officers from HUD, and so many, many more. But there's not enough time. I thank and give honor to God, who gives us all of us our purpose on this earth. I thank him for you and your selfless sacrifice for the residents of Ablett Village. Some say it's your job, but I know better. I know about the stress, the late night conversations. I know about being away from your family so that ours can have a better life. Going far above your call of duty for our people. Thank you for not just doing your jobs, but for the extra mile, because it was the extra mile that got us this grant. Please understand who you really are to us. You are the one who not only cared about revitalizing our neighborhood, you are the ones who cared about us, the people. You are our knights in shining armor. You have a cape and you wear an S on your chest. You are our heroes. You're our heroes. Today, we truly celebrate you because you are truly worthy. I would like to extend a special thanks to Mary Cortez, the president of Cramer Hill Resident Association, the Ablett Village Resident Council, and thank you for being so patient. My neighbors, my friends, and my love, the Ablett Village residents. Thank you.
I want to thank my residents. Please raise your hand, wave it. Cameras, please take a picture of them. We went through the Cherokee disaster, and now we're going through the victory of Ablett Village and Cramer Hill. I also have Camden United here, some residents from there, members, and Ablett Village, of course. I thank everybody for looking upon us, and I guess in your back of your head, oh, there's a little place in Camden that needs help. Well, we sweated, okay? We perspired to get to this place. And I tell you, since the Cherokee Plan in 2004, Tracy and I have been there trying to help the people, and here we are. This is the fruit of our endeavors. Thank you.
This is, thank you, Tracy. We appreciate you and all that you do in our community. This has been an awesome day. Thank you, everyone who attended today, especially Madam Secretary. It was a pleasure meeting you, and our Senator, Bob Menendez. Thank you, our Congressman, everyone here. This is we can't say enough about the extraordinary grant that was presented and allows us to have some extraordinary homes here and opportunities for our residents. I want to say, before we close out and we go on this tour, I look around and I talk about energy, I talk about positive influence. And one thing I see in this audience, one thing I feel out here, and I always try to talk about is, this isn't about this isn't a me thing, this is a we thing. we are partners. We are community organizations. We are residents that come together for what we call community. Was talking to Madam Secretary before we came. We're talking about this is a great investment for infrastructure for our community. But really, this is about the investment of people. And this is what we're all about, investing in our residents and people, because this legacy will go far beyond me and a lot of people in here. And this is a legacy that we all came together to build on. So thank you.